African Daily TV. And as you can see me glowing as usual. And so a lot of people who know the Pan African Daily TV from my looks and from my introduction, they already know how the topics is going to look like. And they already know who is sitting right here with me in the studio and what is it that we'll be talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, dear Pan-Africanese, good evening. If you're watching in Europe, but if you're watching on the continent, I want to also start learning to say good night, maybe. But if you're watching from Accra, Ghana, where our guest is sitting, Brother Kwaku, you all know him by that name, but most people know him like LanceScurv. LanceScurv. So yes, so if you're watching in the Caribbean, you should be about 3 p.m. in the afternoon. If you're watching from, Eastern Standard American Time, so you should be watching right now. It should be afternoon in you. So I want to say good afternoon to you guys out there. But wherever you're watching on the continent and in the diaspora, I want to salute you on this wonderful conversation and this another family talk with our brother in studio who is going to tell us everything we want to know. Now, I want to tell you something very simple. The topic for today, you already seen it. It's about African ancestors and legacies and all that. But who is this sitting in front of us here? This is a social media guru, influencer, a blogger, an activist, a cartoonist, and everything that you can see. So if you are aiming at just creating, content like what we're doing here on the Pan African Daily TV, or you're already anticipating to have an overview of how your studio, your stream sets, and everything should look like, and drive the traffic out there, you are just watching the guru right now, and we're going to be entering into this conversation. So while you're joining the conversation today, it's not just about, our legacies or ancestors or big names on the continent or who is doing what, but it's just a little into gritty, the task and what can I do? How can I be in a high performance sector? Like the whole world is going on digital, products are going digital, and we're having one of our biggest not in terms of age. Hey, come on, give me a break. Look at him, looking so cute and handsome, but big in terms of experience and the little things that he knows that can help you. So if you want to start, a content producer, or you want to launch a product, or you want to just even start a show on YouTube or all these platforms, he is the right man. So please click the button, share, invite one another to join this conversation, because like we say, it's from us to us. Now, brother, good evening. Brother Kwaku, LanceScurv.
Good evening.
Which one should we go back tonight?
Well, my brother-in-law is Brother Kwaku. Okay. I'm Brother Kujo if we go by my Ghanaian name, but my full name is LanceScurv, and that's the American name, born and raised with. But I kind of took it and put it together and made LanceScurv, so you can't mess it up. And the reason why I did that, because when I kept it separate, LanceScurv, they would mess the name up. So I made it easy for everybody. You know what I mean? And I turned my name into a brand because, I've been online for a long time. I mean, 20 years is a long time, under different umbrellas, under different banners. And I started out as a cartoonist, as an artist, which I still do. I got into the blogging, the writing. And when technology came around, because of me being interviewed, and people said, well, listen, why don't you have your own show? And I'm like, how do I do that? I can't go to a big studio, NBC and CBS and CBN, and say, give me a show. I found out we had technology that we can do that with, and it evolved. YouTube started doing live streams. I never came on to do that exactly, but it kind of evolved. So I have you ask me the questions because I'm quite talkative. So shut me up when you need to, but I'll keep giving the information that's needed. We're gonna have fun tonight.
I mean, nobody's gonna shut you up because we're just here. All our ears are wide open, and most of people that are joining or have just been a new viewers or followers, they don't know who LanceScurv is. But I mean, I had the experience when he was here on the first show. It was all, I don't know. It was just like being at home. I never felt like it was the first time that we met. And I think that's what our viewers would want to know tonight. You're just a bundle of everything. Now, this is your second time on the Pan African Daily TV, for instance. What is it that you can give like a feedback? How do we look like? Is it been a good show? You are in this thing for 20 years. How can we make it look even more better?
You know how? Be yourself. Never think you should qualify by being someone else. We can learn from other people, but we have to incorporate it, which we will do. But just be yourself. If you find yourself in front of a camera and you have tension, which you will have butterflies, but as time goes on, just talk to the camera, knowing that you're speaking to people right now, right? And you're speaking to people in the future. And not to get gory, if we transition, we'll still be speaking to people from that next level. Mm-hmm. So be yourself. People want organic content. They don't want it's nice to have a nice tie and speak proper, but you don't have to stress, even if you mess up and you stutter. I make jokes about it. You know, if I mess up and say, I say, oh boy, I'm having a Mike Tyson moment. You know, we laugh about it because you have to have the ability to laugh at yourself and not take yourself so serious that you're going to put this perfect presentation up. Now, in the production, you do. But once you're in the air and everything is flying, understand that little things will happen that are not going your way. You roll with it. When you see Beyonce, right? And she's doing a performance, and I believe she fell off the stage one time. She got up. I know she was hurting, and she continued to perform. And I know her leg was hurting because she smashed the knee and fell down. There was another time her hair got caught into a fan. She pulled it out no matter what, and she kept on going. And that's the attitude you have. Stay relaxed. You make your plan, but you know that something may go wrong or not that's planned, and roll with it and just be yourself. And once you're yourself, people will learn to love you for you because it's about you. People can understand and see when you're not authentic. There's a certain tension that we bring when we're not authentic because, okay, you have beautiful hairstyle. You want to make sure the hair is right. You want to make sure the little makeup you have on is right. You want to make sure in production. But once you start rolling, you don't worry about that. You concern yourself with things, but you move forward as yourself, right? A lot of us don't feel that kind of confidence, and it's okay when this is a new medium. There's a lot of technology. I wish I had this technology 20 years ago, right? I didn't. And because of that, that has allowed me to go through so many different platforms, so many different ways of doing things. I have a rack system that if you add up the equipment on it, it's about $10,000, right? But that was back in the day. You had to buy all of these things to do the simple things. Now, the things I have, that rack system is sitting there collecting dust. And you think anybody's going to buy it? No, because you can, equipment-wise, there are different things on whatever level you want to start on. So don't think you have to have this huge multimedia, whatever. You don't have to have that. You can start where you are. It's like going to the gym and working out. Wherever you are, that's how you start. Progress will come. Take your time, look at the tutorials, look at the different effects and how does this work? How does that work? Research it, understand you may go up a road that you say, hey, this is not for me, but try different things out. But it's all about the connection with our people and being that guy that you ever go to the doctor's waiting room, the doctor's office, and in the waiting room, and you start talking to people. You don't want to read the golf magazines. You don't want to read the tennis magazines. You don't want to read the newspaper from 2 weeks ago, right? And you start talking, and you say, wow, you get into a good conversation. You start to like this person. You start to have a connection with this person. And then the doctor calls. You say, wow, I wish I could talk to this person more. You want to be that person that the person wants to talk to more. Bring your energy, bring your unique thing. Find the things that are unique about you and don't be afraid to shine that out into the world.
Wow.
So you can get the question in.
I mean, I'm loving this. Why am I saying so? Because we are living through a very tragic period, a year that is filled with, I don't know, just a lot of things going on wrong in people's life, and the whole world is just gloomy. Most of us are just locked in on the continent, worldwide. The whole world is just like something is just not going right. But you come here with this power, this energy. You are sitting there in Ghana. Tell me, and here I'm in a cold studio out here in winter, and you just came here sweating.
I got the fan on me a little bit. Yeah. Well, you see, this is life. Let's bring it out and bring it back in. I have a personal saying: never defeated, only detoured. Never defeated, only detoured. So when I take a road that may not be what was planned, I say, okay, let's enjoy the scenery of where we are. When you go to a new city, a new place to live, or even visit for a long period of time, most people, they will go to work, they will know where the supermarket is, they'll come home. But when you make a mistake, which is not really a mistake, and you go down a different road, you might discover that favorite restaurant that you have now. You might discover something new and you say, wow, now you have more in your mind that you can draw from to make the experience of that city something good for you, right? So when it comes to this time that we live in, not only is it the physical threat of the actual substances that they say we have to take. I'm not going to get too controversial on that. I don't want your video flagged, right? But there's also a spiritual happening right now. And a lot of us don't realize that. A lot of us were caught up, and I don't want to say caught up. We thought it was a normalcy going on. So now we're not in a normal place. But what is normal? I tell people, and I've told people for years, there is no normal. It's just like when people say, Lance, you're there, you made it. I say, listen, there is no there. It's a continuous journey. And the way to help get through this is that you have to know how you want to live. I live a very simple life. It doesn't take much for me. I'm not a superficial person. I'm not a person who or has these thoughts that I'm some great person, that I have to have this big car and this big mansion and all these things and this jewelry. That's not who I am. I threw on a t-shirt. I just got out of the shower. I always shave before interview, but I forgot to. So what? I'm here. We're going to vibe, right? It's a confusing place to be in, but it's helping us to align ourselves. We have to look at the good out of it. It's like when you go to the gym and you feel pain. The pain, as long as it's a proper pain and not an injury, brings growth when it's time to rest and put the nutrients in. So this discomfort that we're in, hopefully is helping us to wake up and understand that we need to, number one, draw closer to our loved ones in our trusted circle, not necessarily the demonic people who are evil and deceitful, but to spend more time on a human level, to understand that if we lose one of our jobs or there's less coming in, well, you know what? There's other things that we can do and we can downsize our life. We may have to come back together with each other in one house. And one person take a room, one person takes the couch, and we eat out of one pot. But you know what? You're going to have a lot of laughs and time together. Mm-hmm. The way things were, we've become distanced. We would work 2 and 3 jobs chasing after paper. The paper is not the love. The paper is currency to trade off from our life. The currency is in the people. The currency, the current, like electricity, the power. It used to be that way. And unfortunately, I don't hate to really use this example, but I think it's sad that we as a people, and we'll get back on social media. You know how I do. I'm going to give you a good interview tonight, right? When we were in slavery, when we were enslaved, some of us, maybe not all of us, and even those who weren't, the mental indoctrination has affected them too, right? And so trauma has been passed down. But even in slavery, we drew together better. We drew together better because we knew it was a matter of life and death. Mm-hmm. And now here we are in 2021, coming through 2020. We see that things can be a matter of life and death. And a lot of us don't want to admit that we need to pull together and let go of a lot of frivolous things that are out there that don't matter. And I use another example again. If I took you, right, to your bank and made you draw out all of the money and made you get all of your friends and all of your family and all of your trusted inner circle to draw all the money out of the bank, right? And so I'm going to use this example because I'm not going to burn my money. I'm just going to hold it up, right? Mm-hmm. If anybody hasn't seen the Ghanaian $50 CD looks like, or 20, there's a 50, and it's right there, right? If I was to burn it right now, and go out into the woods, all of us together, right? Mm-hmm. Would the money help? If we go out into the woods far away from civilization, no food, no clothes, just the clothes we have on, where is the value? The value is not the money, because in the woods, the money can't do anything. Mm-hmm. It's the value is in the people. Oh, you can cook really good. I'm going to have you cook. The brothers over here know how to build structures, build homes. You cook, they build the homes, you have a place to live. The older woman who's over there, she can't do much physically, but she can look after the kids and share her wisdom. Oh, those young girls over there, they know how to sew well. Oh, we have a physician here. He can check up on us to make sure we're healthy. The value becomes us. Why did we forget that we have value in each other? And what made us turn away from that? Our lust for that system, that artificial system that we live in, where we need money. And they fooled us. In this system, yes, we need money. I showed you some right there. But if we come out of that system slowly but surely, we would have less panic and less worry because we would see the value in each other.
Wow. This is so deep. This is what we need at this point in time. I mean, what was the difference? You're on the continent. You've been in the diaspora. I mean, born and bred. What is the difference in this lifestyle? Where do you say this is where my soul is? This is where the real happiness. This is where the point should be.
Yes, I was born and raised in New York City, April 8th, 1963. I'm 58 years old in April. I lived in New York City for 38 years, moved down to Orlando, Florida, which became a smaller version of New York City because people started, moving down. In New York City, when I lived there, I wasn't the kind of guy just to go to work and come home. From young, I was all over the place. Not anything bad, but just always, I got to see what's going on. Good, clean fun. I was a good kid, right? Mm-hmm. And so now I think I'm qualified to speak on that because I come from one of the fastest places there, which we know we have LA, Atlanta, Chicago, Miami. We understand that. But back in the day, there was no place like New York. Mm-hmm. Knowing that now, coming here to what many would say is a different extreme. Well, I can take you to parts where it almost looks like New York City. I can take you to parts where it's like, you see nothing but mountains and country and all in between, right? For me, I know how I like to live. I have lived righteously fast. No drugs, no crime, nothing like that, but just in a fast place. And for me, I can get out of the system easier here. It doesn't change as much. It's like a scale. And I'm gonna get a little abstract in how I talk. Mm-hmm. In the United States, in New York City, in the places that are populated, you don't have that much of a range to say, you know what, this is the fast life that I see. Let me go way to the other end of the spectrum where everything is quiet and peaceful. You don't have that luxury. In many places all over the world, it's not just New York City. I'm just using it as an example because that's where I come from. So here, if you want faster, you can have it, right? If you want slower, you can go, I get up from the screen and walk on that and show you how wide the spectrum is. And for me, that's what it is because I've come full circle. I've seen many things. I've had many experiences. I've seen, I will say, everything with these eyes. I haven't traveled the world, but when it comes to human nature, when it comes to those type of experiences, I don't ever say I'm so great in everything, but I'll say I'm a master in human nature. I've been loved, hated, double-crossed, talked about, demonized. It's like Muhammad Ali. You'll love him or you hate him. And that just comes with the game of doing this, right? Mm-hmm. But coming here and to get away from that type of tension, first of all, you have to realize that you have this kind of tension on you. Most who are in countries that are so fast under that American or European or that type of mentality where we're out of what we should be, it's a different vibration. We don't know that we have this tension on us. Mm-hmm. You're a little girl coming from school. If you happen to walk from school and you're with your friends as you walk from school and you're carrying home books and you're laughing and having such a good time, the books don't bother you. You have a knapsack. When you get home and you throw the knapsack on the bed or on the floor, you say, whoa, it was heavy because now you took it off. So when I got here the first time in 2019, and I was here for 18 days, it wasn't as long as I was here now because I was here from September. and I, my plans are to be here and never go back, and I don't plan on, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said, whoa, that stress was heavy. Whoa, I thought I was living the good life. I didn't really think that. I knew I had to get out. I knew that from a long time ago, but it still shocked me how wide the range was. And when I took off my symbolic knapsack and realized how heavy American life was, I was so shocked, but I was overjoyed because I don't have to go back. Now, saying that, like when you build a home, when you build a house, the house has to settle in. You might see a slight crack here and there, but it's not anything major because the work was done properly. So I will say, when you come here to live, there are cultural differences that you must understand. The things that you did in America or the UK or beyond, it's a little foreign. So while we embrace our sisters and brothers here, we have to understand that we have to have our little sit downs and understand that this is a culture that has been, and we have to fit in and we have to merge. When you go on the highway, you don't just get on the highway on the lane that gets and merges you on and just fly on in. You have something going on already as far as the traffic flow. So you have to look in your mirror and say, okay, he's right there. Let him go up. Okay, there's a gap. Let me merge in. It would be disastrous if you come here and say, this is not like the UK. This is not like America. Where's the Walmart that's open up 24/7? Where are all the supermarkets? Whatever. Things close a little early here, right? But I love that because it has relaxed me, because I'm I'm not going to say high powered. Maybe some people say that, but I'm always thinking. And a little stimulation gets me going. I could be laying in the bed and think of a typo in an article that I wrote 15 years ago, get up and come to the computer and search for it because I remembered that I was supposed to correct that, or go back on YouTube, or get up and answer a call to the restroom and realize that while these things are rendering, I need to do this or that. So this has pulled me away from my proximity to that kind of lifestyle to one more peaceful, because right now it's dark. We may hear few kids in the background from next door, but it's quiet now. It's a different mentality. The crime level, as an American, which of course, I don't claim that. I was born there, like Malcolm X said, if you had kittens, born in an oven, they're not cookies. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So me, I'm looked at a certain way. I speak funny to a lot of people, so I can understand that. So I embrace that and make light moments of that, because people will sometimes, you're different in their eyes. And so you have to reach out to them. You have to connect with them and let them know, make them learn something, teach them something, learn something, show interest in what's in the culture already. And once you get that feeling, you're going to realize that truly you're home.
Aish.
Yes.
Aish. It's like I'm sitting here and I can imagine our viewers. I want to salute all of you that are joining. I mean, our brother LanceScurv, he's been saying, if you're here, where are you? Actually, maybe people are like, if you're here, where are you present?
I'm Accra, Ghana. Accra, Ghana. I'm in Africa. I'm an African. I should be in Africa, right? And I mean, I know that everybody's not able to just, okay, let's go. Like hopping on the bus and going downtown. It's you have to, we have the financial, we have our children, and they might be in school. We might have an elderly person who may have some medical issue going on. So I know it's not that easy. And I know many people want to go, and it's like, to get away. I can't come on here and not talk about it. To get away from the racism. Oh, man.
The fear. What about the fear?
The fear, and I'm a man, I'm an alpha male. I can say I have no fear. But you know what? It's not a fear, it's an apprehension that we carry. And when you realize that's another knapsack that you don't have to carry, right? Even though we know with politics, things are still influenced. America still influences many countries in Africa, the UK, we have corrupt leaders here and there. I'm not going to say who's who. I'm keeping it lighthearted, but you could read between the lines, right? But still, the day-to-day ignorance of, okay, in America growing up, and I'll tell one of my stories. I'm going to write a book this year. And I'm going to say the first chapter, that's going to be a zany book. I'm going to make sure you don't put it down. The first chapter is going to be when I was beat. I'm going to make sure, trust me, I'm going to have little drawings in the corner like Mad Magazine back in the day, but it's going to be something because I'm not holding back. I like to talk and I like to write, but not just like to talk with anything because I have a lot to say. I have a lot to share. When the racist, I'll say it this way, when the racist white system in America saw me in the street, they looked at me like they were seeing a ghost. We didn't get that one. How did he walk around the minefields and know how to navigate the system when they know the traps that are put out there for us? You know, many years ago when I went for particular jobs and they did background checks and they're like, oh, hey guy, you don't have a record. Well, what do you expect me to have one? You know, have you ever taken any drugs? Nothing stronger than the aspirin, and I don't even do that now. My system's so clean. When I take cough syrup, I get high and have a hangover the next day. So I take care of myself, and they look at this different and there are a lot of us who do, but they don't expect that. Media has turned their minds against us always, just as though it's always been there, but it's helped to flare up different things. You got to understand that with Caucasians in America, and I'm assuming UK, I was never there, only on a layover coming over here, so I didn't get a chance to experience, but I know how things are there. That many opinions are formed because of what they see on TV, and now more so what they see on the internet, right? So when you see these white guys in there, yo, man, my man, how you doing, my man? I don't talk like that, but because many of us take pride and joy and putting out the downtrodden, low vibration images of us. Don't forget that other people are watching. And even when, and not to get political, when the world Michelle Obama, now I'm not going to get into the politics of Barack Obama because I can go off on him. We're talking from an intellectual, dignified, whatever. You never saw her out here using profanity. You never saw her dressed in a way that what you're seeing is what only Barack should be seeing. Mm-hmm. You never, and the world did not understand that. That world didn't understand it. Wow, she's different. But how many of us know a Michelle Obama on that level in the places that they would call the hood, the places that they would call the poor Black neighborhoods? We know many Michelle Obamas that way. Women who carry themselves with dignity, women who carry themselves and have high moral standards, women who you cannot just talk to like a plaything, right? So that swings me around to something else that we have on the flyer, Cicely Tyson, right? Yes. And on one of my shows, I said it, and it was a free flow, like I'm doing now. I don't have a script here, right? I basically said she and many others like her, because the list is too much to speak out. But since her transition, it made me step back. And I said, wow, we don't have many like her today. And I'm quite sure we do. But the Hollywood machine that decides who goes out on the imagery of us will not allow it anymore. Because there's an agenda there now. A woman who would refuse certain roles, I'm quite sure they offered her a role as a prostitute or offered her as a role as someone who was low vibrational. But if you look at all of the roles that she played in her movies and if she was in plays, I don't know all the details. But we look back when someone transitions, and I'd have to say that they don't make them like that anymore. Why is it that singers and more so the female groups, the Supremes, we had names that were dignifying. But now to get into that, even if you have a half talent, You have to expose your body. I'm not looking for that. I want talent, but they have to put us out there on a lower vibration to appeal. And we get looked at and viewed on such a low level that in everyday life, it's expected of us. This is why it's so easy for so many other people of other races, because their only proximity or their only connection, some work with us and around us, but there's some in America, there's states like Maine, you know what I mean? You go to Oregon, you see a black person, you look at them like when two cats run into an alleyway and see, and you're looking at each other like, wow, you're here? See, they assess, they form an opinion. And so now when you go and you're diametrically opposed to that opinion of what they think you are, it's strange because that's not what I see on TV. That's not what I see on the internet. You're different. But my thing with America and my living there, I should not have to validate myself in your eyes because you have a low opinion of me. Not that I ever did. I was always a rebel that way from young. The song that I play in the beginning of my shows, which I have to transfer that particular file and start it all over again, is from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, "A White Man's Heaven is a Black Man's Hell." That was a song that from 3 years old, I would not go to bed until my mother played that song. I loved it. And while the record spun, and they had the little light in the old record player, I used to pull out this drawer and just watch the record and just envision what he was saying about our a journey into America and what we had to go through from young. That was something that I gravitated toward. So now in history class, it might be 3rd or 4th grade, there's a verse in that song that said, when you were pregnant, you pulled the plow like a horse, like a dog, even a cow. He filled your womb with his wicked seed. His half-white children you were made to breed. Oh, my friend, it's easy to tell. White man heaven, black man hell. And there's other verses like that. So we had to do a story, or we had to do a presentation. Well, I wanted to do a presentation on that record. Oh, I got in trouble for that. Inflammatory, not acceptable. And I fought that all the way. And I've fought it ever since. So I have always been that big mouth, but I know when to shut up. Recently, I was always that one that if you talk to one of my sisters in public the wrong way, white or black, I'm gonna straighten you out. I was always that brother, if a sister was a few dollars short at the cash register and she had kids, if I have a little bit, I'll give it to her. Walk her to the car. I'm not saying I'm some great guy, because with demonically motivated people, I'm their worst nightmare. You know what I mean? I'll get you if you eat. I'm not gonna tolerate that around me either. But what I'm saying is that we have lost something in our society amongst each other. You know, there was a time when we could see each other, something transpired that's not right. And you have that black sister who will look over at another black sister and throw a look. And in that, there was so much information that you knew that was a kindred spirit. How is it that no matter where you go as a black man, right? You walking, you got your hat on, whatever. You just, what's up, man? What's up? You know, even if they don't know what what's up means, just that little thing that you do. We are so connected.
Correct.
On ways we don't even realize it. But we've been so reduced because of the conditions that we live in and the things we go after, the alcohol, the drugs. I'm not saying all of us do this, but for those of us who have gotten into those things, you know, women who, while they may not look like us, they have no interest in us. So I'm gonna tiptoe around this one without getting too controversial again. I'm not trying to, you know, piss anybody off. I'll piss people off on my show, right? But isn't it funny that when we as black men, or many of our black women, become engaged with somebody else who doesn't look like us, many times we have to leave our culture at the door. Why is it that when we go to a job and the job is dominated by those others, I'll say it that way, that we have to wash off our blackness? We can't wear our hair the way we want. We have to dress the way that they. Now, I understand that there's a certain standard. You're not going to go in there dressed like you're going to a party, but anything us is never respected. And we have to wash ourselves of who we are to fit in their world. Why is it that way? What is it that they're afraid of? That you hear in Jamaica that they're going to start making it mandatory where you cut your locks if you have some. That's the way it grows out your head. What they want to see is a sign of submission, that I am trying my best to not be who I am. So if I'm 6'5", and I'm taller, when I see them, I better shrink. If I have bass in my voice, I better, make it really light. And when you make it really light, better if you are of that persuasion, because you'll get the job over an alpha male, a strong black man. And I shouldn't have to say I'm strong. When you see a Lamborghini driving at 25 miles an hour, you don't have to say, oh, this is a fast Lamborghini. No, we know this on sight. And they know our power. They know our strength on sight. I know what I am, and I radiate that in my presence when I get around anybody in public, especially when you have an enemy mentality, you might look like me and have an enemy mentality, where you're going to feel my strength on a mental, a physical, and a spiritual level. Because this is why when we look at each other in the eyes, we can download things about each other, but we don't trust that anymore. Used to be where when a person, and especially you as a young lady, right? And all of our sisters out here, when a man is coming at you in a jive turkey kind of way. He's holding the door for you because he has other intentions. It's not genuine. So me now, if I'm genuine in something that I do, I have to take that she's looking at me like, oh, you're just trying to, get to certain things. No, it's not that way. Why can't we give of ourselves as men and give of ourselves to each other as brothers and sisters without having to think, why are you doing this? And yeah, we are right in thinking that because we don't know who we're dealing with. But when you look into an iPhone or you look into your computer and it has a facial recognition, what is it seeing? What is it picking up? Our eyes emit energy. So this is why when a person's lying to you, they cannot look you in the eye. Even a dog who went and did something, went to the bathroom in the wrong place, and you come home, the dog is looking at you, and he did something wrong. Absolutely. Right? Yes. Okay, I've been flowing. Direct me. Tell me what to talk about. Ask me a question. I'm flowing too much. When I flow too much, it may be way away from what you want me to talk about.
Just flow, brother. Just flow. That's why we have you here. Just go on.
Well, like I said, we are connected on such a divine level. You, sister, you are my home. When I see your beautiful face, and I say that in a very decent way, you're home to me. It makes me want to cry because I know all the hell that I'm taking in this world. I can look to you to be my comfort. You should see me as your strength, and you're strong. But you should look to me before you look for any police officer out there.
Correct.
Because we as men are supposed to be that standard in our community. I don't care if you're a mailman. I don't care if you're a bus driver. I don't care if you work at the courthouse. I don't care if you're just sweeping floors. No matter what our status in this artificial system that we live in, we should still give each other that love, respect, and support. And we should be home for each other. No matter how far we travel, I should see you and know I can come to you for anything. I'm not going to ask you for no money. You know what I mean? But even that, if you need to come to me for that, and I can see that you're sincere, and I can feel you. We're so caught up in the electronic thing. We're so much with the phone in our face. And yes, we use this as leverage to get our story out. See, you and we're using this the proper way. We're doing a quality thing out here, and you're doing an extreme. Look, I know I work hard, but every time I look, if I miss one of your live streams 3 hours ago and 7 hours ago, it's never where 4 days ago, 2 weeks ago. You are banging it, and I love it. Professionalism. Look at you But look on Facebook, look on Twitter, look on Instagram. They push our sisters to look a certain way. They push our men to not be men. Why are they reducing us like this? So this program that I'm on right now, that I'm honored to be on, we need more of this. You're out here utilizing the tools, do it in a way where it brings us up. We're at a time right now where we can project our thoughts so far out in the world at the push of a button. We don't have to prepare and, well, next week, look, you called me, we're doing it. Mm-hmm. Especially for you. I don't care if I'm fast asleep. I'm gonna get up and clean out my eyes and wipe my face, and I'll be there in 5 minutes because that's my duty. If I can put out the energy that people need to see, not because I'm perfect or I'm all of that, but it's your duty to carry yourself in a dignified way, to put that energy out there. Now on my show, we laugh, we have little adult shows, we laugh and talk, because in the trenches of this mental, physical, and spiritual war, we have to be able to laugh.
Correct, absolute.
And who can make you laugh? I'm not saying me personally, but who can make you laugh more than me? I mean, a brother. It doesn't have to be me. You know what I mean? When I see you smile, huh?
It should
you know my crazy side. Right. You know my crazy side. What I'm saying is that we've got to be all of these things for each other.
Yes.
If a person may not have a mother growing up or their mother transitioned, there is a mother there that should step in to be that. I don't have sisters. You're my sister, and I love you righteously.
I love you.
I love you,
brother.
You know what I mean? In the pure way that I'm not going to have nothing happen to you. That I will hop on a plane if I hear you in any kind of danger, and if you need me, I'm coming. I might have to sleep on your couch or sleep on another person's couch. But this is the feeling that we need to have for each other these days. But guess what? A lot of us are disconnected because we're just on our phone. Laughter, that deep belly laugh that we used to have back in the day where it's like, yo, stop, my stomach is hurting. Please stop. Don't say it anymore. And the jokes with them, when was the last time we had that? It's been reduced down to what? LOL. What you talking about, LOL? Look, when I get on the road with my jokes, I send people to the bathroom, okay? If there's one bathroom and 3 people, it's musical chairs. Who needs it more? You go in there. And I'm going to keep you laughing. I'm going to keep you laughing so much you're going to go home. But you don't want to go home because you're having fun, right? We need to be that for each other. I remember, I'm going to tell this story. My grandmother in Jamaica transitioned. My father was at work. He had his own business, but he would come in kind of late because he would do different things. Let me grab this rag here. It kind of fell. I got to wipe my face right now. But she had so much awareness, so much love in her heart. And I must say, I had a wonderful childhood. I had a wonderful upbringing. Mm-hmm. That when he came home from work, she made sure to have his favorite meal, whatever that was, because there was a lot of favorite meals that he had. And she sat with him and they put the TV on. And you didn't have much back in those days in the 60s. You had 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. And if you had good reception, 21 and 31, 41, 47, right? That's to my American folks who lived in the Northeast who know about that back in the day. And so they sat there. He ate a little bit. He wound down, he relaxed. She put her arm around him. And she started speaking about her mother-in-law, his mother. And they spoke about the stories. Now, mind you, she knew that she transitioned. She got the phone call, but she was slowly easing him into a mentality or mindset where he can accept hearing this. Mm-hmm. Because even though he was probably around 50 years old at the time, he was very virile. He created me with my mother when he was like around 46. I did the numbers, right? We do those things. I'm this age, and my parents, they did it when they were so years old, right? Crushed that part. So she wrapped her arm around him. She hugged him, and let them know, you know, your mother loves you so much.
Oh.
Your mother, you know, to me, she was the epitome of womanhood. She this, she that, and she held him. And he was almost half asleep. Not really, but he was so relaxed. And he was in her embrace. And he said, you know, she transitioned, she crossed over a little earlier. Just whispered to him. And he didn't jump up and scream. It was almost like he accepted it because of where he was put in. Now, some people who don't know how to communicate, you walk in the door, you know what? You know your mama died, right? You know what I mean? They'll say, you're right, it's funny. And keep washing the dishes and leave you by yourself. Like, and you hit and you messed up. You might jump out the window. It's not funny, but it is funny. Especially, you know, I'm gonna use the American, you know, oh, you know your mama died, right? You know, man. You know, so
sorry he passed away, you know, 2 days.
Right. Not even that. Your mama died. You know, pass me the remote, a little Ray. Your mama died, though. You know, go to the store and get me something. You crush me with this. There's a way to do things, and this is what we have to do for each other. You know what I mean? Because we have a lot of people who are, look. A lot of us are broken. You know, I would say 100% of us are broken to some degree.
Yes.
Right. And we all need healing on different degrees. I know I need a lot of healing. Because many days, because of different things, I will cry. And I'm not ashamed to admit that. There are things and pieces of me that I need to put nothing traumatic, nothing bad. And for a second, my screen blanked and I was, oh man, I hope there's not a power outage here, which might happen. Let's not talk this down. It happens every other week. And it has happened on shows, but we have to understand that we are not working at full capacity as we were created to be because of the system that we're put in. And we take on, if you take a piece of chicken, which I'm plant-based, I don't do the meat, and put it in the pan next to the fish, because you want to wash that next pot, the chicken after time is going to start to taste like fish. So we who were born with a clean slate, even with the trauma that we have in our DNA because of what was passed on to us in the system, we're born ready, but we shouldn't have to be. The tension we notice, our grandmothers, our great-grandmothers, our grandfathers, the trauma is passed down. That doesn't go anywhere. So we come into this world as a clean slate, but we're also very tense.
Correct.
But it's given us a heightened awareness. The creator, whichever way you want to call it, I'm not going to get into that. But we didn't just fall out the sky. Like Muhammad Ali said, if I told you that this glass or this bottle just popped out of nowhere, you'd call me crazy, right? Somebody made that. Right?
Yes.
You know, and this show, I'm telling you, is the greatest show of all times. I'm glad to be here with your beautiful self, right? But we are created in such a special way, but we minimize that. We don't respect that. We don't acknowledge that. And I always, in every show I say, I always try to mention the seeds of greatness that we have inside of you. And because I'm here again, and I'm going to speak on another analogy that I always use. So anybody who's here say, oh, he's going to tell the same story again. But I think it's important. Don't be that kernel, that corn that doesn't pop in a bag of popcorn. We are like corn. You take that bag of popcorn and you put it in the microwave, which we shouldn't be doing. We're just talking normal right now. And you turn it on. There's always that one pop that pops early. That's that bright kid that got it from young. You have a little while, you wait, and pop, put it up, pop, the bag starts swelling up. And then as you approach the microwave, you don't hear pops no more. There's a pop. There's that slow kid in class that didn't get it until late. Or that person who didn't get the lessons until late in life. Man, I'm 79 years old and I'm just realizing certain things. But at least you got it before you got it up out of here. But as you go to pull that bag of popcorn out, you might have it out the microwave and another pop. Like, wow. But then as you eat it and you bite down, wait a second, there's a couple kernels here that never popped. Don't be that one that doesn't get the lessons in this life and doesn't pop. Life is long and life is short. It's long when you do it right, when you stay connected to yourself, when you stay connected to the inner God. I'm not going to preach because I'm not a pastor. I don't want your money. But what I will say is that the answer is not outside of you to be led here and there. It's inside of you. It's not outside, it's inside. I'll tell you, I get so focused on things that when I have my reading glasses, I flip it up. That's like a signature thing with me, right? I flip it up. I've been so intense that I'm running around the house looking for my glasses. Guess what? They were on my head. They were there all along. And guess what? When I took a glance at myself at the mirror, in the bedroom, looking for my glasses, they're right here. So many of us are looking for the answer outside. Yes, there are some things we need to learn. If you enter a certain area of expertise, you go to school for certain things, but with everything, your motivation, your drive, your downloads, it comes directly to you. You don't need a middleman. Well, I'm going to go on, see the pastor right now. Maybe he can tell me, look, he got issues in his life. He may have issues in his bedroom. He may have issues keeping his eyes straight when he's driving past the shopping mall. And he's not calling out the name of Jesus because he loves Jesus, because he saw something that made him say that. Answer's not outside of you, it's inside of you. Do you see a rabbit in the wild talking about, well, I'm reading the rabbit book because I got to learn how to be a rabbit? You don't see dogs in the street. Now keep it decent. Reading a book to learn how to go through the acts of reproduction, procreation. They got the download. They know what to do when they see what they see. And the time comes for that. So why do we look outside of ourselves to find the answer of something that a direct download would tell us, but we're disconnected from getting our direct downloads? Go on and start a download on your computer, but then cut the internet off. You have no connection to getting that download. So we have been cut, right, from receiving righteous downloads because we don't meditate no more. We don't have quiet time no more. We get up, bam, 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 bam. Oh, man. If that alarm didn't go off and you didn't have to go to work, you'd probably sleep another 4 hours from the accumulation of fatigue that's inside of you. But we live in a society that doesn't acknowledge that. And so now we're jumping through hoops because we got to get this money. We got these items on credit we got to pay. When do you have time to relax and get your downloads? You go on a vacation. 2 weeks, you get for 2 weeks out of 50 weeks. And when you're on the vacation, the first day you get there, you wake up the next morning. Well, it's 2 weeks, right? Oh, I got 13 more days before I go back to the job. Why are you on vacation thinking about the job? Oh, it's 4:59. And if I was at the job, I'd be getting out in a minute. But then when you're on the job, oh, I can't wait for another 50 weeks to come to get that vacation. We're not where we're supposed to be mentally. If you're on the job, be on the job. When you're on vacation, but it shouldn't be separate. You should have vacation time every day. You should look at your life as a vacation, even when you're physically on the job. I've worked as a corrections officer in several different facilities, prison and jail. And that's why I really get my talk on, because my units are quiet because I out-talked all of the people that were there.
Wow. Too much power, brother. Just too much power there. You see that? Hello. I want to thank all of you that are contributing and supporting this show. Thank you so very much. I mean, sometimes we talk about political issues or challenges. Today, we just want to relax and get this motivation, this power. What is it that we need that unites us more? What is it that drives us, that we remain calm and find peace within us? Most of the time, we're just running, like he's saying, catching jobs here, catching trains, I have to work. I have to spend sleepless night respecting rules set up in the society or the systems. When is it that we really could relax, find time for ourselves, love ourselves, and even give ourselves these gifts? So I'm just happy that we are all here having this power and this energy from our brother. I don't know what kicked him out, but I know he's gonna be here again. He's going to be here again. And I want to salute all of you that are watching from all our platforms. I see people are watching on Facebook, all the way from Cameroon, all the way from Americas. And yes, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. I just hope I'm going to get him here again because the power, he's not even touched the show. It's not even touched it. We just, how many minutes into it? Yeah, I want to thank you. I see, yes, yes, yes. All of you say, keep the fire burning. Let us keep this fire burning. I hope we're going to have our brother here, finish this conversation, and get the energy and the power that we need. I don't know whether he was kicked out of the stream. So probably maybe we take a break, we refresh, and get him back on the show. So let us take a break and we refresh the show. And definitely he would be connected here. Watching the Pan African Daily TV with Dr. Susan Tata. The Africa we want: unity, consciousness, our culture, our spirituality, our history. One Africa for Africans worldwide. Motherland's calling its diaspora home. Okay, so we need to refresh a little bit so we can get him back in. Thank you for watching. Right. He should be able to join us if everything works well. If not, I'm opening up the lines to take some, how were you feeling when he spoke? What is it that you learned? How is it that you can engage in motivating one another? Do you have a story to share to inspire those that are watching us? Please call on our WhatsApp number +49 1578 211 2379. The lines are open while we are trying to engage to get him back here. And remember, he's watching all, or he's connected live from Ghana, Accra. And even before the show, he, there were some breakouts or blackouts, so he could have been shut out from power. That is also one of the things that bring us into peace when we are on the continent. So it's not always gonna be like everything is light. No, in darkness, that's where our strength, our energy is. Remember, stars only come out at night. Why do they not come out in the day? So the day or the light or the white or the whatever must not only reflect everything that is good, but darkness, the melanin, the black, the beauty, that's where the peace is. So please call in, share your contribution with us. That was really powerful. I hear Fatuma saying it. Yes, Indo King says, I love this program. Thank you so very much. Hey, Reggie Phil, thank you for supporting. Empress LG just support us, the show also with $10. Thank you so very much. Okay, I think brother is trying to reconnect. Hello? Yeah, we can continue. My internet completely cut off. Oh. It wasn't plugged in. So, I'm here. All right, all right. Just click the link back and you would join in. Click on the link. Okay. Okay. Can you see me? Because I'm right here where I can see everything. They say my camera sources appear here. Oh. They don't see me. But I see your screen. All right, so let me do the refresh. Just hold on, bro. Go out of the stream. Right. I refresh and you click again. If it's cut because of the internet, then you should be able to reconnect. Okay, let me I'm gonna refresh. Yeah, I'm refreshing and you can click and enter. Whoa. So like you heard his internet cut off and then he had to reconnect again. So he's back with us to give us the power and the energy that we need. So just hold on for a while we reconnect and get him back here. That is the spirit. That is who we are. That is who we are. And exactly, you heard him said it, and exactly that's how we do it on the Pan African Daily. When things happen like this, relax, chill out. There's no panic. Nobody's here to prove a point. We're not here in the show that people pay. Make sure you click like, share, subscribe. Wow.
Okay, here it
Yeah, I think
goes.
you're there. I
We're
get you.
ready. We're ready.
Yes, we're
I
ready.
don't hear you though.
I
I
hear
don't hear
you.
you.
Oh,
Let me see.
okay.
Can you
But
hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, let me see something. Let me check a setting. Let me check a setting.
Okay.
Okay, the
Yes, give
speakers,
me a question.
microphone,
Uh,
webcam, play test sound.
oh.
It's not coming through. Okay, let's get some feedback from the chat room.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna try something different because I'm not hearing you. I'm not hearing you. You,
I
I
hear you.
can't.
I don't know
I can't
if
hear
the
you.
audience.
Yeah, let's try this again because I'm looking at my settings and the settings are fine. Okay, so we'll
You're
be all
hearing,
right soon.
you're hearing us.
Yeah. Let me refresh. I'm going to refresh myself.
Okay. Because
I'm
I'm
going to
also in the
refresh.
refresh. Me, self, I'm not even in the studio anymore. Okay. Wow. Can you hear me? Can you hear him? Yoo-hoo! Yeah, we're back. No. Oh my goodness.
Okay, I'll leave it at that resolution right there. The
Can you
cam
hear
is
me?
right. Okay, that's it right there. Everything looks good to me, but I just can't hear you, my sister. I can't
Oh
hear
my
you.
goodness. This is some kind of
I don't know if
like,
it might be something on your end, but the sound I can't hear.
okay.
I can't. You talking?
All right. But the audience
Something on
is
that
saying
end?
that they hear us
Okay,
both.
let's
The
see.
audience is saying that they
Because
hear us
nothing
both.
else changed. It's weird. Um, there's nothing on this end. Let me tell you something. Okay, let me do this. I'm going to actually call you on the phone. I'm going to actually call you on the phone. We're going to get ghetto with this thing right now. All right? I'm going to call you on the phone just for a second. This is my mic. I think it's muted. Okay, let me unmute.
Can you hear me?
I'm starting to now.
I hear you.
Unmute. Okay. It seems to be unmuted, but I can't hear you. Let me check the settings again.
Wow.
We're going to get this thing. Audio
Okay.
settings. Let's just go here. Can't hear that. That's where I'm supposed to be.
All right, but they
Okay.
hear us.
This is
They hear
weird.
us from the
This is really
audience.
weird.
Just go ahead. They
Can
hear
you hear
us from the
me?
audience. Let me
Let me
text
know if you
you.
can hear me.
Yes.
Because I will call you on the phone and we'll do this ghetto style. Let me see something. All right. Are you on the phone
Hello?
with me?
Yes, I'm on the phone with
Okay.
you. It's reconnecting. I think your internet is really, really
I
like
still
bad
can't hear
out
you.
there.
Okay. Okay. So you can hear me. Okay. They can hear me. We
Yes.
can't hear each other though.
Yeah, we cannot hear each other, but the
weird.
audience is hearing us. So go ahead. Go ahead.
I can't hear. Let me see something here. There's nothing that's changed.
People, can you just type on the chat and ask him to just continue because he doesn't hear me.
Let me try one thing. I'll be right back. Let me try one thing. I'll be right back. Okay.
You see why we need our satellite? Please donate. Let us have our satellite. And we're not going to be doing all this kind of, ping pong here on the Pan-African Daily TV with noble Africans and rich, beautiful Africans out there. We need this satellite. We're not going to be messing ourselves up like this. Just imagine the heat that we were already feeling here, and just to lose this power, it's so sad. It's so sad. And the brother is struggling and struggling, and I'm struggling. And what are you guys thinking now? Do you see me? Do you hear me? I just don't get it. Brother Lance, we can hear you. Please just go on. Can somebody just type something?
Let's see if that works. You sister, I don't know if you want to create a whole. They can hear the both of us.
I hear you. Can you hear me?
All right. What I'm gonna do, if you could let her know in the chat room that I'm just gonna go ahead and flow. I'm gonna go ahead and flow, so we don't take too much. Yeah, let her know. I don't know if she can hear me, but I'm just gonna go ahead until she says, "Listen, we got to cut the show." We'll go on with that.
Ahead.
Okay.
Yes.
But just many of you just go ahead and say that. Okay. Okay, we're not gonna let this defeat us. We're gonna keep on talking, right? Since you can hear. And this is how you handle the things. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm not a Beyonce fan, but when she fell off of the stage, she got up and she kept on talking. I mean, she kept on dancing. When she got her hair caught, she pulled it out and half of her weave was in the fans, but she kept on going. Okay. Hopefully you can hear me. Make sure, let me know if you can hear me, because it says here that my microphone has been disconnected. I'm not sure. That's when I think I switched it. But if you can still hear me, I'm getting ready to roll. Okay. Susan said she can hear you. She's asking you to, these pop-ups just keep popping up in front of me. Demonic pop-ups. Just get out of the way. Let me see these messages. Okay. I'm gonna keep talking. Yeah, we're gonna keep talking. We're gonna keep talking, right? Nothing's gonna stop us, right? Ain't no stopping us now. Right? But this is a lesson even in this show. This is a lesson even in this show. Like I said, things happen unexpected, and you have to know how to shift. Might have thought the person you're fighting was a scrub and you was going to knock him out in the first round. But guess what? It's the 15th round and they're giving you the fight of your life. So what do? Quit in the second, third, fourth round because it happened in an unexpected way, right? No, you keep going. That's why I always like to say I have a fighter mentality. I did bodybuilding when I was young, but I did a little boxing, playing around. But my thing is, if you're relentless and you keep on throwing, just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. Every punch is not a knockout blow in life. Every punch, you're not going to get a victory. You're not going to get a knockout all the time. You get an early knockout, you go home, you didn't catch any bruises, easy money. But sometimes you're going to have to fight in this life. And you have to be prepared to fight. You can be relaxed and enjoy the day and have a nice time, but the fight sometimes comes to you unexpected. And if somebody walked up to me in the street symbolically and punched me in the face, guess what? There's a fist coming back real quick because there's a part of me, like the military in a country, it's ready. Military, they look over the borders, they look through the satellites, say, watch, watch. You launch something at me, I'm launching something at you, but you have to understand that the fight is not always physical. That's the easy kind of fight. It's the easy kind of fight. What about the spiritual battles that we have? I'm not talking churchified either. I'm talking real live battles on a spiritual level when you get around people who are hell-bent on bringing you down because your enthusiasm for life is so great that it reveals to them how they're living in a state of hopelessness. And instead of using your example, To motivate them, they don't want to even do it anymore or even try. So we have to get rid of you with your enthusiastic backside. But they'll still smile with you. Good morning, how are you? But they have these bad feelings inside. So I'm not telling people to walk around paranoid or look at the world as a bad place, but understand that there's certain factions out there, like the military, the evil military on a spiritual level, always looking to get in your life, in your head. You heard the term before, I'm living in his head rent free. They're always thinking about me in a bad way. And this is when I did the show the other day. I got up and I just wanted to talk about it. I think I talked about it for 40 minutes, about the unseen spiritual portals on the internet. And I'm going to repeat some of it here. That you think, I'm not saying, my sister, you don't think, I talk that way, like, yeah, you this and you that. It's nothing personal with anybody who's here. But we think that we come home and we're safe and we get on cyberspace. Don't you know that that is a spiritual portal? Have you ever seen a science fiction show where there's this doorway in front of them, but if you look sideways, you don't see it. And they walk through this thing, and sometimes it closes up, and they're in a different world, and they turn around and say, well, where am I? And the people who are around them say, where did he go? When you go on the internet, and especially when you're a content creator, whether you're like our sister Susan here, or maybe you just do FaceTime a little bit to talk to your inner circle of friends, there are other people who are watching you. And in watching you, they have feelings. They may love you. They may love your energy. And because of their being toxic and their levels of toxicity, they may not like you. And guess what? You're laying in your bed and wondering why you can't get to sleep at night. Oh, last night, I couldn't get to sleep at all, right? It's because on the negative level, they are thinking about you and you're receiving these signals. Like I said before, we were cut off. We're all connected on a divine, unseen level. Mm-hmm. And when you're right with yourself, you look around you and you can see the spirits around you. You can see the charge on a person. You see, we see wires hanging on a construction site. You don't always walk up and let me just grab the wire. You'll electrocute yourself. You know why? Because you don't know what wires are dead and you don't know what wires are alive. So this is why we walk around little things to test and make sure. But see, so many of us take a person's facade or the exterior as gospel. Like, okay, they're a nice person. They smiled at me. That can be a mask. And look, we complain in 2021 and 2020. Oh, I got to put this mask on my face and I got to wear this mask. Well, what's the problem with wearing a mask? Now, I don't want to wear no mask either. So why am I saying what's the problem with it? I don't like it. Because when I'm in the store, I do this. Put it down like this. I'm still breathing, right? But what's the problem with you wearing a mask on a physical level? I don't like it and I don't believe in it, but you've been wearing masks all your damn life. 10 and 15 masks over your face. You're a Christian here one day. You in a topless bar the next day. You saying nice things to people in your inner circle, but you're somebody else. How many of us can bring all of our friends and all of our inner circles together and not be nervous? Anybody who knows LanceScurv, look, my transition ceremony is going to be one big party because you're all going to be sitting around laughing, talking about LanceScurv stories. Oh, how long did you know him? Did he tell you the story about this? Let me tell you about that. That's because that's the kind of life I live. It's going to be a big party. You don't want to miss my funeral. It's going to happen. Live your life that way. Stop wearing all these different masks. We complain about this one, but we got this mask and that mask. We're laying in the bed with people we don't even know who they are because they have a mask on. They didn't show us who they really are. They've told us what we want to hear. Let's just make something up and I'm getting all kind of downloads now. Like I said, when you're ready to end it, I can't hear you, sister. Go like this. We're finished. Go like that. A man sees a woman who may have the physical adornments that are very appealing to a man's eye. She might have a very healthy bank account. She might have a nice home, nice car. She may have the physical things, material things. Say, wow, does he really love her? Maybe he does. Maybe he met her before he saw that she had those things. But there are some who will feign love because of what you have. And they'll be very convincing. See? They will say what you want to hear. But after a time, the facade will fall off. I know many people who they've transitioned from worldliness and being carnal, and now they're so-called righteous. But they're not righteous, because these are people I know. They've carried the same level of arrogance into their new manifestation. You see, it's almost like having beautiful furniture in a beautiful place, and you move from one apartment to the next, but you're wondering why, or the person who lives with you says, man, all these roaches, because you brought the roaches from where you were and you brought the roaches into the new place. So while we can work on our facade and try to come off a certain way to people who don't know us, what's really at the root? I've had many people come onto my show, and I've taken them on face value. And I've let them come on to the show because they wrote a book or they had some kind of program going on that was something that I felt that we can benefit from. Mm-hmm. And I come to find out that these guys are frauds. So what do? I vet them. I make sure now, because you're not going to get the benefit of my hard work or Sister Susan's hard work just thinking you're going to slide on in and present yourself to the masses of people with your mask-wearing self. There was a man, and I use this as an example. I'm not going to say his name. The man had a wonderful speaking voice. The man would make Barry White sound like Michael Jackson. The guy had bass in his voice. In the diction of his words and the way he presented his words, I said, man, I've been doing talk shows. I would love to have your voice. I'm just a regular talking dude. And he wrote books on relationships and the things that he prescribed to help heal damaged relationships were phenomenal. I said, man, this guy had a lot of time to meditate on these things. And he said he had experiences. I couldn't wait to get him on the show. We finally got him on the show because he was very busy, obviously, or at least he told me. And he could never really tell me, like, next week at this time, whatever. He said, Lance, it's going to have to be pretty much at the last minute. I said, okay. So we got him on, and he talked, and he talked. I let him speak. The chat room was exploding. The women were loving it, because finally here's a man who can see our side of things, who understands what women go through. He was a master. Even I had to break out with my pen and paper, and I'm 58 in April. I think this was like 2 years ago. When I was 55, 56, I had to break out. I said, man, I thought pretty much I knew everything. I learned things. After about a week after his show, there were 2 or 3 young ladies who reached out to me. And they said, Lance, I know you're a straight up guy. And I'm going to cut the cheese and get straight to the point. This man who you had on your show, I gave him my number, and we had very good conversations. But I'm getting a feeling about him. And I said, well, what is it? It's like something, he's pressing me too much. I said, did he say something indecent? Because I'll blow him up. I will blow you up. You know what I mean? This video here, this guy's a fraud. I said, no, he didn't technically say anything, but there's something about him. It's like a man who's treating you right, but you're somewhere public and you look away for a second and you turn back around and he's just all in your body. Oh, come on, man. Oh, come on. You know what I mean? It's like this, we know what he's here for. Well, it was one of those situations, but it was over the phone. I had another lady call me. We spoke nicely for a while, and I got to admit the way this man talks, and I'm telling you this, Lance, I'm not telling him. I was getting aroused. Not just in that way, but the stirrings in my heart, the things he said made me feel I can love again. And I was just, I don't know this guy, but I was just ripe for the picking. But there's something wrong. He's asking me questions. Do you own your home? Are you paying a mortgage? Are you in a relationship? Now, if the woman asked for advice, that's appropriate. But he was asking things a little too personal. And he would have to abruptly go sometime. And they said, well, he's a busy man writing books, doing shows. To speed the story up, I figured it out. Why he could never tell me a date. See, me, you can say, Lance, we can do a show next year on this day. I'm doing it. You can call me at the last minute. I'm doing it. The brother didn't have control of his time. The brother didn't have a wife like he said. The brother was in work release in prison. Work release. He was an inmate. He was in jail, prison. I'm not sure which one, but he was only allowed enough time to go out to do his work. Evidently, he had a light sentence or he was working off his sentence. Usually, if you did 5 years, 10 years, and you had good behavior, depending on your charge, they may say, you know what? We'll let you go on work release where you live out of the facility. You may have now the ability to have a cell phone, but since you've been good, because the jails and prisons are crowded, we're going to afford you this. If you mess up now, you're going back in. So you can't rip and run the streets. You can't get in trouble. You got to go to work and you got to come back. But it's sure nice sitting on a bus, talking to people, feeling free while you work your sentence off. Many understand the discipline needed, but some of them don't. This little bugger, he was slick. He was using a cell phone as a weapon. There were no books. He had a graphic person make a book cover and make it convincing and put the words that, let's just say his name was Bill. Bill is an authoritarian. He's knowledgeable on this particular so-and-so and tutorials. When I read his book, it changed my life and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh man, he used me. See? So we don't know what the mask that people wear. While we look at this and complain about this, I don't like breathing air that's supposed to go out. I always cheat. I pull it down. But how many people are wearing masks around you? And some of us are wearing masks and don't realize it. We deal with our family. We deal with them in a certain way, but we're not being authentic. I tell you this much, and I say this to everybody. I am not going to die from emotional constipation. If I love you, I'm going to tell it. If I have a problem with you, I'm going to tell it. But I'm not going to hold it in and not, oh, he talks too much. Well, I'm not going to hold your toxicities. I'm not going to hold your family secrets to the expense where it makes me toxic and kills me. I'm not going to dance to the beat of a dysfunctional family drama. If I walk in there, it's like, hey, this is not right. And there's a time to talk, yes. But the toxic things around us that we allow into our life, we should not do that. And a lot of the rhythms that we had from childhood, we need to cut those things because those were rhythms that were handed to us. When you see a young lady who was used to seeing her father beat the mother, she cried, she didn't like it, but that's what was normal for her. So now when she gets older, she just might, not everybody who was in that situation, not everybody, but she might tolerate it. And she might, and I hate to say it, and please don't take it the wrong way, there might be a side of her that is very comfortable in that particular relationship dynamic because that's what it was that she was used to. If you're now a plant-based eater, or vegan, which are two different things, and that's another story. But you grew up in the holidays, grandma or mama made this good old ham, and the ham became associated and the pork became associated with good times. The family would be over, the music is playing, your friends can come over, and the whole neighborhood was lit with joy. But ham was part of it. Now you're trying to get away from eating the ham, but now you go to a function and it's a party and it's nice and you're having fun, and that piece of ham is there looking at you. What you gonna do? Little piece is not gonna hurt. And so not only do you eat a little piece, you go and get some for the next day and prepare it in the middle of the night. You know how we do. Nobody's awake, whether it's a piece of turkey or ham. We sitting there lying to ourselves, I'm just gonna take a little piece. But you stand in front of the refrigerator for 30 minutes, just taking a little piece on something you shouldn't be eating. Well, look at us, how we deal with each other. We know certain people are not good for us. We know their energy is not good for us, but we just want to take a little piece. I'll hang out with them because I like to hear the gossip that she talks. I know I should not be thinking this stuff or absorbing this stuff, but I kind of like it. Men, you know them places you should not be going. Hey, honey, I'm going to the store and I might run down here and go here, there. I might be gone for 6 hours. Well, you didn't know that she checked the odometer on your vehicle. So you went all those places, right? Why is it only 3 more miles on the odometer and you went all those places, right? All I'm saying is that make sure that the people around you are not wearing a mask to the point where, see, I'd rather somebody tell me that they're addicted to heroin. I'd rather somebody tell me that they don't really like me. I know how we stand. I'd rather somebody tell me what their demons are. I can help you. Be authentic with me. Be real with me. Don't let me know or act in a way that you have a problem with me and you didn't tell me. See, when I have a problem with people, I tell you exactly what it is, right? You don't have police officers with radar pulling you over to give you a speeding ticket, and they can't prove to you by showing you on the radar how much over the limit you went. So deal with me that way. And it must be consistent across the board. If you have a problem with me and you heard that I said something, it could be where someone took my words and twisted it around. Sister Susan is intelligent and dignified and full of information that you are. I can take all your shows and chop it up in a way to make it seem and appear that you're a mad woman. Now, I wouldn't do that, right? So this is what people do to us. So we have to be aware, and to be aware, you have to be healed. You have to have time to yourself to meditate, to be still, and just think of it this way. When you have that day where you are in control of all of the things, that free day where you don't work and you can wake up and start your day whenever you want. You might wake up say you wake up at 6 and you have to be to work by 9 or whatever. But now the alarm is on. Listen, alarm, I'm unplugging you. I don't need you today. And I'm just going to lay in the bed and just catch up on some rest. And we're down in the pillow. We don't even care about the clock. But we look and we see that it's 10:30 now. And we feel so good. And we get up. How many of us are moving in that space where we have taken care of ourselves as far as our rest, as far as our mental, as far as having time to ourselves, to have ourselves to ourselves? When my day starts, I have myself to myself before I mix with any other energies. Let me just take a sip of the water. My throat's getting dry, but I can still talk, no problem.
Okay, let him take a sip of water. Please,
and yes, when you do these talk shows,
type
you better have a lot of water around
that
you.
I'm hearing.
I'm a talking fool, right?
I
hear you talking, but I don't hear you.
Susan is here.
I hear you talking about it, but yeah, for the sake of our family here, yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, yeah. When you start talking, if you want to add something in, I'm going to watch you, And if I see your lips moving, I'll shut up. Okay? We've been doing this for a long time. We're veterans, right? But you can hear me, right? Okay, good. This is the thing. When we go through life, we should have our spiritual and mental blade cutting through life like a hot knife through butter, right? As we get older, or chronological age gets older, which doesn't mean we're getting old, right? Life should become easier because we should know ourselves better. We should have been sharpening the sword of us better to know when certain situations happen, like, I learned from this. This is not going to happen again. Again, like a fighter who keeps his hand low and he gets hit on this side of the face. After a while, you keep getting hit. You should know to keep those hands up to protect yourself at all times. This is the way it is in life. You need to be able to protect yourself at all times. You need to know that you need to defend yourself, because you are the only person who is going to be with you every minute, every day, every second, every week, every month, every year, every decade of your life. No matter how much other people say, I love you, and it could be real, but you better start loving you, because from the moment you were born until the unknown moment when we transition, you're going to be hanging out with you all your life. So you better know how to have good conversations with yourself. Yes, talk to yourself. You better know how to make yourself laugh. There's some people who see me walking to the mall by myself. I got crazy. I love being with myself. I think of jokes and different things. I'll call up a friend and say, hey, man, remember that time, when we were walking to the store and I tripped and fell in this, there's a big lady in front of me and I fell in her backside. And she turned around and tell me, it's okay, young man. I said, what? I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to be funny or touchy or whatever. No, what's your phone number? I ain't been touched by a man like that in a long time. I was like, I thought about that. And I was on a little minibus coming back. I busted out laughing because I love being with myself. I love myself, and you have the right to love yourself. Mm-hmm. Even if you're not the body weight that you think you should be. If you got a couple of rolls of fat, love the couple of rolls of fat, because that's you, but you can change that. That's the exterior. Stop going by what society says, right? Oh, I'm a little too overweight, so I'm not acceptable. You are beautiful as you are because you're a work in progress. You don't have to go and change yourself for anyone. Only if you have toxic things inside of you, you want to correct that.
Correct.
But how dare somebody come in your life and tell you, girl, you too fat. Now, if you do know that you need to deal with that, don't let that emotional attack on you make you feel low where you just go on and eat the ice cream and the cake and because I might as well do this anyway. No, you are beautiful. And if a man really loves you, he's going to love them rolls of fat. Listen, we know them other two things we focused on, but you know what? That little belly fat you got them too. I'm going to kiss that too because I love it. Because I love you. You know what? I send them two other little things. I want to keep it decent, right? But it's the truth. Love all of you. If you got a scar, that man need to be on it. This is on you. I love it, but I love the things on the inside. And whether you are in perfect physical condition or you have an ailment with your thyroid or a diabetic situation, insulin, and you put on weight, I'm walking down the street with you just as proud. This is my queen. This is my woman. This is my wife, and I love her. And that's never going to die. It's not about your body anyway. These are vehicles. If a person's been good to you and they drive a Bentley and a Rolls Royce, it should make no difference if they roll up in an old beat up Toyota Yaris. That's the vehicle. What about the inside? We've become too superficial on social media, Instagram. And the women, they sit up in the bathroom and one part of their derriere is hanging over the sink, and the duck lips come and here they go. And then they walking with the duck legs and turn them in and knowing how to accentuate their, why? Is this really love, the attention that you're getting? Why do we look for one thing to satisfy a void in another area of our life? Why does it come down to just likes? Well, if you want Instagram half naked, you're going to get a whole lot of likes from people who are not loving you for who you are. So we put on the mask. I'm not just coming down on my sisters. I'm just speaking on it because we're there now. We put on the mask of, we going to the club tonight. Girl, you better open up an extra one of them buttons. You better get a size too small dress to show that shape. Why are you advertising this and then getting mad at the attention that you get? Brothers, why are you walking around at the bar? I'm gonna do it again. Knowing good and darn well that's your rent money or your mortgage money. And now you want to complain, oh, those girls are gold diggers. Well, look at what you're showing. A lot of us and a lot of our sisters will project something sexual because they really want love. And a lot of men, our brothers, will use the love word because we really want the sexual. Why can't we be real with each other? It's because we feel maybe that we'll be vulnerable if we say we want to be loved. I want to be loved and I want to love. That's what we're here for. We use this word hater now. Well, it's always been around. We had songs that spoke of that without saying haters. Smile in your face all the time, they want to take your place. The backstabbers, smiling faces, show no traces of the evil that lurks within. Those were hater songs before the word came around that we use now. But we were more aware of it. But why can't, at the end of the day, show each other love? There's a picture that I want to draw before I leave this level. And it's a picture of a great-grandmother, grandmother, great-grandmother on what they would call your deathbed. Because many of us, and this is the title of this picture, because it's in my head for years, right? There's a lot of pictures in my head, right? That's why I got a big head, because I have a lot of big thoughts, right? But this picture is going to be named The Luxury of the Deathbed. Luxury? Who wants to be on a deathbed? What kind of luxury is that? Well, what better way to go in this picture now with his great-grandmother, could be a great-grandfather, but an elder in the family who is about to transition and they know it. And their whole dysfunctional family came together for him or her, showing that even though we have differences, and this cousin didn't talk to this cousin for the last 25 years because he tried to take his girlfriend. And that cousin, this sister didn't speak to this other sister because when we were growing up, mommy showed you more attention. So this is why I don't like you. All of these weird things that we carry, all of this baggage that we carry, that when we realize that one of our elders, or could be somebody our age or younger, or on that deathbed, that we have to put those things aside and come together. Why can't we come together without that happening? I've always wondered that. As a little kid, I would see people, and my family wasn't perfect, but I had a great childhood. My mother and father gave me a wonderful childhood, but I had a brother 11 years older than me who was hooked on drugs. So I saw the difference. My home, that stuff wasn't allowed. He was older than me. He was out there. So I saw the difference. So one of my, I can't call it an Achilles heel, but this is what made me run into bodybuilding. Like, Daddy, I'm not going to do any drugs. I'm not going to eat bad food. I got these big muscles because that affected me. And the things in our childhood do affect us. And we carry it for the rest of our life if we don't really focus in and say, you know what? This is why I am the way I am, because I had to pull away layers of a facade that I put out there to appear normal instead of, or appear good, because there is no normal, y'all. There is no normal. But to be presentable while hiding the hurt and while hiding the scars. So if we can live a life where we don't need one of these, I'm not saying just the physical mask, but if we can live a life where we've conquered those things inside of us, right? We're free. We're free. And every day, every minute, as we spend time with ourselves, if we tell those jokes to ourselves and look crazy in public, or we're deep in thought and correcting things from our past that make us the way we are now, we'll get better and better every day. And we'll feel emboldened. We'll feel empowered as we move amongst everybody. Well, Lance, how can you have a show like this just talking and you didn't have no script? I don't need a script. I remember one time they flew me up to the College of Jersey many years ago, 11 years ago, to speak. And here I am at the time, I wasn't a correctional officer, I was a bus driver. And we had all of these people who, I forgot the category of school it was, but these were people who graduated high school early and they knocked out 4 years of college quick before they were like 18, 19 years old. And now they were in this school now in the university to become high-level scientists. And you want to talk to a bus driver? Now I know I'm more than a bus driver. That is what I did to make some money while my foot was in the system. But they saw some of my writings online and they liked it. They said, wow. Because see them, they studied so much and they were so much younger than me, they didn't have a chance to have experiences in life. So what I had was valuable to them. And what they had was something that it was phenomenal to me. So I went, we did a slideshow with my artwork, and it wasn't about the art, but that was something that I would piggyback off on and speak about life. It was like a one-man show. And after the hour and a half time was over for me to stop talking, they were like, keep talking. Until the people who ran the school, after 4 or 5 hours, they were like, listen, you can't stay here. And it's over capacity. It started out with a few people. And some people came and said, let me see what's going on here. Let me sit down, listen to this guy. And I saw it fill up even more and more. So this is why me, whatever my outer manifestation is as far as my positioning in this world, I don't go with that. Because I know, and you should know, that you have something valuable inside of you that the world would appreciate and will help to change the world around you. And you don't have to try to push it. Just deal with what's in your path. If you don't have an online talk show that can reach millions of people, it's okay. It might be for you to reach that one person and make even a bigger difference than somebody who's talking about Hollywood gossip, which is why we have to support this show. Look at our sister, concerned about what's happening with us all over the world, doing the work to even reach a guest. And I know how difficult it could be. They say they're going to be there, they don't show up. You know, they play games and it can be frustrating. But she goes through all of this and she sets it up so nice. And she actually records history, our history as it's happening. You got to realize this is history. Back in the day. See, I was born in the hospital, Columbia Presbyterian Hospital, that was right across the street from the Audubon Ballroom where Malcolm X was taken out. And we lived down on 152nd Street, and that place was 168th Street. And when it happened, I was just a few blocks away. Didn't know what was going on, but I come from that era that even though a few years after he transitioned, that flavor was in the air. It was a different world. And so my mission is to bring that world back. That when you cut the TV on, you didn't see anything that was not dignified. You know, even if there was a show back in the day, it didn't come on till 1 o'clock in the morning. And you knew when you were a kid and you heard this, due to mature subject matter, parental discretion is advised. You like, I'm gonna try to peek it on this one. You know what I mean? Especially if it was PBS, you might see some nudity, right? So, and the next day in school, did you hear what she said? She said the B word. Now on free TV, the B word is free. Social media, you can learn anything. Now people send me things, right? And I go everywhere, right? Now, there are friends who've sent me clips of certain types of movies where it's not for the eyes of children, right? Because, Lance, didn't you go out with that girl? Look at that. She made that movie. I'm looking. Now, all of a sudden, I go to that. Later on, all kind of stuff is popping up on my screen. You know what I mean? That's life. But look, and you're online a lot, so you know how the internet works. You know how it is. But we have to focus on what we have to focus on, because there are a lot of spirits out here. There are a lot of things that distract us, to pull us down, to get us angry, to take us off our mission. And if we know our mission is to get to this certain point, we have to stay focused. We can get distracted for a little while, but the bottom line is that we hold true to the mission. My question is, what is your mission? We have mission statements that we make. Going according to what I've seen, I'm not talking to our sister and saying her, we know what hers is. But when we see people live life as though they don't have a mission statement, well, what would the mission statement be if we had to fill it in? My mission statement is to have relations with as many women as I possibly can. My mission statement is to cheat on my wife. My mission statement is to steal and be fraudulent in business, because they're not living the life that, exactly, they're not living a life that would shine out a mission statement, a proper one. Even when they stated out righteous, behind closed doors, right? It's something else, or even across town, right? Live your life as though you have this mission statement. And if you have a mission statement, what is it? And be real about it. We in the church Sunday morning, getting in the spirit, whatever, tap dancing and doing the dance and whatever. But what were we doing on Saturday night? What were you thinking on Saturday night? You were on your knees to pray Sunday morning, but what were you on your knees doing on Saturday night? And it wasn't praying, and it wasn't with the person you should be with. I'll take a little second to make you laugh. You can say everything without saying it, right? That's the beauty of conversation. That's the art of conversation. If I say 2, 4, 6, 8, you know 10. I ain't gonna say the 10, but I'm gonna bring you to a place where you know. See? Little children, what do you mean by that, on the knees not to pray? Baby, you'll learn about that in a few more years. I'll tell you about that. But you can speak out and keep it decent. And that's one of the beautiful things of communication, right? But what is your mission statement? And I have to redefine my mission statement every single day, because I want to take it higher. Sometimes I disappoint myself because my standards are on a certain level. And it's okay in a fight when you get knocked down, get back up. That makes your win and your victory even sweeter. The times in your life when you were broke and didn't have money, but you never stopped pushing, you never stopped throwing those punches. And then you say, and I'm not honoring money like it's the God. I'm just saying symbolically normal talk now, which there is no normal, right? The thing is, you look back and you say, wow, we came a far way. And I had a brother of mine, he had been a blood brother, but we're brothers on so many different levels. We were friends from the 70s. And he said, Lance, and he is very successful on the material level, which was not his goal. He just did everything right. And he's done, see, I'll keep you talking until you fall asleep now. You gotta let me know. But he said to me, he said, Lance, you know, the sweetest times that me and my wife had were when we didn't have much at all. We have all of this. And we're not into all of this. It just, that's the way, you know, it happened. And I know that because they're very giving people if someone needs something. But they said, you know, before we had all of this, we had more time. We had less people coming at us trying to use us. And although we still love each other and have time now that we're retired, they were tired. The thing is that appreciation and love, that connectedness, which doesn't cost a dime. Again, why can't we love each other? Why can't I learn what makes you laugh, right? And say it and make you laugh, and just for a second, call you up. Hey, Susan, say the joke. Say, listen, I'll talk to you later on. Those are the things that season life and give it flavor. You're driving home and you may have gotten some irritating news, but you latch onto what I said to you as far as a laugh is concerned, and that I thought about you with the common joke that we share. And that may be the thing that tipped the scales to making you have what you call a wonderful day, right? There's a young lady who reached out to me online, and we talked and talked and talked. Come to find out, when I was in America, she lived near me, right? And she really loved Mr. Scurv, my wife, how she did stuff in the garden. Because sometimes I could be anywhere and throw up any kind of video. I might be in the garden. I might be sitting down on the curb with a guy who smokes crack and we're talking. You don't know what's going to come on my channel sometime, right? And she said, I love the way your wife and her spirit, and I would like to talk to her one day. So one day I called her up and I said, here. And they talked and became the best of friends. And the joke with us now, we have two jokes. But the joke with us now is like, you called me first and my wife stole you from me. But that's the way it was supposed to be. So when I'm sitting down in a chair and I hear them talking, it brings a glow to my heart, because it's not like I'm not talking to you, Lance, but let it take its course naturally. Now we have a joke between us, and she's going to know if she's watching the show that I'm talking about her. I brought it up one time. Sometime, like when I was a little kid, I'd take something. I love cats. My wife doesn't like cats, but I love cats. But we don't have cats because she don't love cats. I take a ball or a little something, and then the cat would see it move, and the cat would go here and look down and wiggle and then jump. That wiggle thing, I used to play with the cat all night. I used to love when they would do that. And so when I said that, she says, I thought I was the only one talking about that or thought that. So that's our joke. So if my wife is on the phone with her, she can't see me do the wiggle, but I walk by the room and go, and then she'll be on the phone and start laughing because she knows I'm talking about the cat. I'll call her sometime when I know she can't get to her phone and leave a voicemail message. That means I'm thinking about you as a friend, and I'm here. So in the busy days that we have being in this artificial system that tears us down, rips away our connections, it doesn't mean we have to have one day we're going to have this big party, and it may not happen that way. Do it incrementally. Give them a 3-way or 4-way phone conversation just because. You might think it's going to be 15 minutes, but guess what? It might be 5 hours. Do FaceTime, whatever you can do. Like you said early in the show, there's something missing. It's our connectedness on a human level to each other. And just like I would walk around with the glasses on my forehead, looking around for everything, or the glasses, I realized I had it all along. And we still have it all along. But what's happening now with this mask and this vaccine and what they say is out there, it's causing us to, or we have forgotten what we had. And we need that back, the human connection and the human touch. And I see you over there laughing, and I can't hear you, but I know it's something. If you want to say something, say it, and I'll look at it in the chat room. It's time to write it down. I know. Okay. Is she saying 5 more minutes? 5 more minutes? Okay. So we'll wrap it down 5 more minutes. Because I told you, you get me in front of this camera, you get me in front of this mic, we're going to roll. We're going to have some energy, right? But to pack whatever's in my spirit, because that's how I talk, unless it's a defined thing. And we started out on social media, touched on Cicely, Tyson, talked about the fat lady being loved and the mask that we wear. We didn't know. You didn't know this morning when you woke up that we would flow like that. And that's the way I flow, no matter what. Growing up, when I would hang out with friends of mine, because they'd come around like, what we going to do, Lance? They knew no matter what it was. If we're going to go to Manhattan and hang out in the city in Times Square, or I go to the laundromat, that laundromat was going to be a party. The people in there are going to be laughing. They're going to be thinking, we're going to join together as one and have a good time. And that's what we have to do. We have so many people who are dying of loneliness, that are not connected, that if we would only reach out to them sometime, Okay, now I see you talking, so I don't know if I should wrap it down. You had 5 to go. Okay. All right. I'm looking at the chat room right now.
All
So
right.
yeah, on the wrap down, I'm not going to start up
Okay.
any other thing. All I'll say is this: in this pandemic, use social media to connect with your loved ones on a righteous level. Use the time that we spend at home, sometimes by ourselves. Don't feel lonely. You have yourself. Treat yourself out to something sometime. Take yourself out on a date sometime. It might be the most healing thing. Spend some money on yourself sometime if you have it. If you don't have it, take a walk down a different street. Do something for somebody. That old lady who doesn't have family, yeah, I'm going to call you. All right, I'm going to call you now. Keep it going? Okay, all right. Okay, she's going to wrap it down, I think. So I'm definitely going to call her. It's been a pleasure being here. I love it. I want to come back. Let's do this every week. Let's build. And I'll behave myself when we have another guest on, or there's another guest. Trust me, I got a lot to talk about. I have a lot to talk about. And thank you. It's been a pleasure and an honor for being here. I'll zip it right now and let you do the exiting credits and stuff, and we'll talk right after.
Thank you. Oh my God, this is so crazy that he can hear me but I hear him perfectly. I hear him from the studio. I don't know what just happened. And I know that you guys are hearing us both, but he doesn't hear me, but I hear him. So yeah, it would have been nice for us to open up some lines and make some calls. I don't know. Somebody has to call. Let us know if the call will go through to him, at least before we round up. All right. But before I open that, please, tomorrow we're going to have Dr. Leonard Jeffries on the show, like I said. Tomorrow we're going to have a very important guest. This was really inspirational, more of, I read some things in the chat here and I was laughing, like somebody said, and I have to read this out. Like, Nyam Sikes said, I have been cooking dinner, but you surely caught my attention and I've been laughing too. My husband is looking at me and thinking, what is going on with her? So, I mean, those are the chat that I was seeing and I laughed. And Kofi Zuma is just here saying, it's, it's our brother LanceScurv, a Black Panther. And I mean, as usual, Kofi's just been, Sylvia, do you like cats and dogs? So I was really concentrated also on this chat. And I want to thank all of those that have been contributing as well. The chat has been so heated. It's just unfortunate that he can hear us. But so I think that we're going to round up if nobody is going to call and we make it a day. Like you heard him say, we want to have him on weekly basis. He's going to be our motivational speaker, some different types of topics. But we also know that a lot of you guys out there that has something just to make us laugh, whether it's a joke, whether it's a comedy, anything that would just make us laugh sometimes. So the Pan-African Daily TV must not only be on professional, educational, but we're really going through a pandemic that has killed our emotions. The world that is making, wants to drive us into cold people that we are not. We are the warm, loving, smart, happy people and sun people. And I mean, you can see him out there, the way he's vibrating. And so you know what is going on the continent, right? No pandemic, no COVID, because the sun is there. Everybody's happy. There's music, there's live. We even see football tournaments going on like the one in Cameroon. And so like everything is just fine, but we're here in the cold, you don't even see anybody. It's too much depression outside, a lot of suicide going on. So we need to connect to transfer this energy. And so we'll be coming up even with comedians just to make us laugh here. Yeah, that's what we'll be bringing on the Pan-African Daily TV. Watch out. We're going to be getting comedians. We're going to be getting people just to create the fun and we laugh our lungs out like the brother is saying. Yeah. But we're also going to get some kind of news touch. Yeah, we're putting up a team here where we'll have reporters that can bring us some content about weather, about sport, about, all the things that will just make us laugh. But now I want to bring you a very important conversations that will be going on maybe in the next week. It's all just going to be a love time. February is a time for love. Even though we Black people, we love all the time. We don't want to keep it on 14th of February or whatever. We love all the time. So yes, we're going to keep this a love season. So what am I saying? But this love session is not going to be hosted on our YouTube. We're going to host it on our Facebook, but I'll make you understand. I will tell you when, because we'll be playing love songs and music, you know, and YouTube will not allow us to do that. So anything that we're going to play sounds and like just listen to some grooves, some love sounds, and enjoy ourselves and party online, we're going to do that on Facebook. But on YouTube, no. So, but I will keep you informed of whatever thing will be going on. So let me pick this one last call. And just to give our brother the feel out there. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, this is Yemo again. I've been following up your program again, which is very interesting. The brother touched me a lot on his intervention or the experiences he shared on the Disney. I wanted to ask him several questions, but maybe I will start with only one. Or yeah. We talk a lot about very sensible things. I mean, from Ghana, I've been living out of Ghana for the past 25 years because of a lot of things he just talked about. I mean, I left Ghana because of family issues, and I've grown up now. I'm a grown-up man now outside Ghana, and talking about this African family, how it works. I moved out of Ghana because of African family. Somebody believe that I'm an older man now, and I don't know my mom, you know. I mean, so he was saying a lot of things, and this I'm not alone. I have a younger brother too, who is also old man now, and we both don't know our mom. We don't even have contact with her relatives or something. This is maybe instead of going to commit suicide, I decided to move out of Ghana and spend my life out of the countries, in several places on the African continent and Europe and all. But then it took me time now to be at peace with myself. And the worst part of it is that my younger brother having not been able, it's like still living in the past. And so I find it challenging. Sometimes we don't talk. I mean, my uncle this evening was asking me in America, he's an American, he was asking me, have you heard from your brother? And I didn't know how to answer him because I don't talk to my brother. We were, I mean, when we were young, I was supporting him a lot, and I think he's still in the past, and so I find it difficult to exchange with him. The only way we can exchange is for me to give him something every time. So I was hearing about being at peace with yourself, love yourself. Is the message I've been trying to preach to my younger one for years. He wouldn't take it because he's still living in the past. So, I mean, I wanted to know in that case, how do I get closer to my younger brother? I'm doing my best. I mean, because of all these things, my even private life, it has had an impact. I mean, getting married, divorcing, having new women in my life. I can be disabled, but now I'm learning to love myself, and everything is going on. I have my fiance, and things are going on, but I'm not in contact with anybody in the family, you know what I mean? Because of all these things,
that's hard, brother. Yeah, I understand. And yes, these are all social topics also that we'll be connecting. I don't think he heard you, but I would message him and put you in contact with him. And that would be a good start. We having really all these kind of social challenges that we're breaking the Pan-African Daily TV into series also. So we're going to be having all this kind of, I mean, what do I want to say? Topics that are really keeping us apart. Because we talk about unity, we talk about functioning as one, but there's just a little bit of too much things that we need to fix amongst us, amongst our relationships, amongst our families, amongst our homes, amongst our community, amongst our people, amongst our villages. A lot of things that actually do not fit into us. Sometimes we're talking too much on the political structures on the continent as a global. But now we're building the Pan-African to start piping down to those little things that don't even function among us as people, and how we can build ourselves up. And I think Brother Lance and other motivational speakers, you know, psychologists or therapists or people that are ready to just listen to conversations like this or to questions like this. How can I reconnect back to my sibling? We know a lot of families that don't talk to each other for quite a long time. We know even parents and and kids that have broken up. I mean, that's not our life. That's not us as African people. These are all things that we adopted and to separate ourselves. You know, I mean, with us on the continent or in the village, it was so impossible that you know, you don't have your sibling or something. That was a taboo, that you're not talking to each other, and you broke up maybe because of marriages or because of, like you're saying, it was a taboo. There was someone new in the village at the palace and asked what is going wrong. But now it's almost like a new lifestyle. And we even enjoy not talking to each other. We love it. I mean, we embrace it. We feel so comfortable and we're so proud of it, you know. So these are all things that we're looking to position it on the Pan-African Daily TV, to start looking at this kind of minimal solutions, and before we talk about the global solutions of uniting ourselves. So I want to thank you so much, brother. I don't know if you're still hearing me. If you're not hearing me, all right, it's not a problem. We're going to have you again on Wednesday. If not Wednesday, we'll communicate when you'll be available here. But for the brother, I'm going to put you in contact with him, and so you can ask these questions, or we can also talk to each other. So we see ourselves tomorrow. We hope technique is not going to fail us, and Dr. Leonard Jeffries is going to be our guest, a very high-end guest like every other one here. We wish you a good night, and we see us tomorrow. Good night. Bye.